Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about isometrics and what the heck they are and why the heck we use them. In the world of engineering, there are several different ways to convey information. One of them is sketching. And a 2D illustration that can show a 3D object is going to be very helpful for us. In order to show three faces of an object with just one view, there are a couple options we can use. There's isometric, oblique, and perspective. We're going to be focusing on isometric today. Isometric means equal measure. If you have three adjacent faces on a cube, they're going to share a single point. And when they share that single point, you're going to have two 30-degree angles. And the faces of the cube would meet such that all three of them have a 120-degree angle. An isometric view is really good for showing perspective, and it's showing proportions. Here are a couple of examples of isometric pictures. Three edges that you need to be aware of. They're going to help you understand the width of the object, the depth of the object, and the height of the object. The faces of the isometric sketch are going to be conveyed by showing front, top, in this case in the blue, and right. All right, let's go ahead and start with some practice. What is the width of this shape in this isometric sketch? How about the height and the depth? Go ahead and answer now. All right. Hopefully, you identified that the width is 6 inches, the depth of this object is 4 inches, and the height of the object is 3 inches. The next thing that we have to focus on is the faces that are shown in an isometric sketch. Which of these faces is the front? Which one's the right? Which one's the top? Can you identify them now? How'd you do? Hopefully you got them right. If not, don't worry, there's going to be lots of time to practice this. When we think of front view, it's not what we think of when we're looking at things like an automobile. Front doesn't necessarily mean the front of the object. Front means you're looking for the one view that has the most natural position. Which one shows the best shape and the characteristic contours? Which one shows the longest dimensions and the fewest hidden lines? And we're going to get more into hidden lines in a future lesson. So in the case of the automobile, or any of these pictures over here on this slide, using the front, what we think of as the front of the vehicle, isn't actually going to be the best front view. For example, here are three different views of the same object. Which do you think represents the best front view? Which one gives you a best feel of what this object might be? Option B is going to be the best one in this case. The other two show thickness, but they don't show what the shape of the object might actually be. All right, sketching a front view. You had practiced sketching before, and we're going to have you sketch on a scratch piece of paper 3 objects. And your job is to pick the best front view for a stapler, any table lamp, and a toothbrush. So hopefully these are all objects you have at your house. If not, you can pull up images on Google. We're going to give you about 5 minutes for each one. Don't spend a lot of time. This is just a quick sketch. When you're done, come back to the video. Hopefully for your front views, you selected things that show the shape of the object the best, have the longest dimension, and are the most representative view. How'd you do? We dealt with tonal shading before. This time we're going to have a little bit of a different kind of shading style. In order to differentiate between surfaces, you've used different tonal shading before. However, Just because we are showing where the light source is coming from, we're using cross-hatching this time. If your light is shining directly on the surface, there's not going to be any shading whatsoever. If your surface is only one away from the light source, you're going to use single hatching, like this. And if your surface is completely opposite of the light source, you're going to use cross-hatching. Okay? So gone are the days of taking our pencil and using different kind of shading techniques. When we're doing isometric sketching, we're going to focus on this hatching style. All right, we're going to do a couple practice problems. For this picture that's shown, can you determine where the light source might be? Remember, which side of this object is front? Which one is top? Right, left, back, bottom? Remember, we've got these conventions. No shading means that the light source is directly on that surface. One away means that there's single hatching. And opposite of light source is that cross hatching. Well, how'd you do? When I look at this image, I see that there's no shading on these two surfaces. Those are the right sides. That means that my shading, or my sun source light, I'll get this, the light source is coming from the right side of the object. Did you get it? Let's try one more. Remember the conventions. No shading, direct light source. Single cross hatching, or single hatching, excuse me, is one away from the light source, and cross hatching means it's the opposite of the light source. Take a couple seconds. I think the easiest thing when you're looking at an object like this is to look for cross hatching. Our front surface has cross hatching, which means it's opposite of the light source. So in this case, the light source is actually coming from the back. Did you get it? There's going to be lots of opportunities to practice, not only your hatching, but picking your front view. So good job today.